Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of But Coffee First. We're here today talking about friendships. I have two special guests with me, and we wanted to talk about just our experiences. How do we define friendship as we are discussing or seeing on the news the Shaquilla Robinson case, the Skylar Neese, and the Cynthia Hoffman. And we know that there's some cases with men, but we brought this up because both me and my husband have daughters, so we wanted to discuss it based on what we're seeing in terms of females and the advice we're able to give them about friendships. So I have my Nini here, one of my girls, and then my husband, Tyson. Say hello, y'all.
Hello.
You
And those who are new to But Coffee First, welcome. Please subscribe, leave a comment down below. We love to engage with you about these topics and hear your opinion. Also follow us on our blog, which you'll find located in the description box. So just kicking this off, how do you guys define friendship?
For me, it's loyalty, honesty, and to be able to be yourself.
same here to be yourself and a truthful person.
Yeah, I just describe it as like I can be genuine, I can be myself, I can come to you openly and you could come to me, and the ability to rely on you. Like I know people have things going on, but I know if I really need you or something that you're going to be able to, support me and genuinely care about my well-being. Now, thinking about friendship, and one of the things that we talk about with our girls is the difference between a friend and a best friend. And the first question I have is, are you okay? Do you think you can have more than one best friend?
Yes, absolutely. It depends on the bond you have with that person. Like a friend, you're okay with, you can talk to, stuff like that. But a best friend, like you said, you can rely on, trust, and just be yourself. And yes, you can definitely have more than one. Because I have more than one.
Definitely.
I don't think so, but that's just my opinion.
Why though?
I just think if you have one best friend, one person that really knows you in and out, it's not like you gotta really let a lot of people in
Mm-hmm.
to know your in and outs and what you're afraid of and what you're not. So
Yeah. I think I definitely have two best friends, and I think that the reason I have two best friends is because there's different parts in my life, points in my life where I require a different, support or a different characteristic in someone. And not saying my first best friend couldn't be supportive or my second one can't, but as I know growing up and becoming a young woman, becoming a mom, getting married, my life has went in different directions where my one of my best friends, I may not be able to understand that perspective versus the other. And I also think that they bring two different perspectives that are helpful. And when I consider someone my best friend, I say, that's my sister. Like I consider them a part of my family now, that I trust them that much with whatever I've told them, with all my secrets, all my thoughts, that they're family to me, and I rely on them and I want them to rely on me, and I can be genuine and, open with them, but I may have had them at 2 points in my life, so I think you definitely can have, more than one best friend. But I think it's the person. I think it's about,
It's depending.
depends on who you are, right? And then you're saying for yourself that, I want to tell one person.
it's not that because I'm looking at it as in like when you grow up when then as you get older, like you just said, when you get married, that person tends to be turned into your best friend because you spend more time and stuff and more deeper things. But it depends, like I said, it depends. Like that could be your two, but when you talk about
Other people outside. Like
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Like,
Like
okay,
certain
you
things.
gained the best friend through marriage,
yeah,
but then you grew up with the best friend. I think
exactly.
about it like, okay, then in this case, I would have three then, because I got, two women who I consider my sisters that I would say are truly my best friends, and then I have my partner. So it's for me, it's like, okay, then I can have more people, but I'm going to enlist and trust each of you with maybe something different, or a different part of me, and that I feel like I can express, and do things with, and handle different things accordingly. And I think as I grow and develop, and as you all grow and develop, that shapes how, we handle each other. And I think that shapes the dynamics of someone being my best friend versus my friendship. Somebody could ride that wave with me. That's a best friend, where some people they can't ride those waves with you, So I think about it in that way. And thinking about the, the woman that we've seen in the news where they've lost their lives to their friends, and some of the things that we talk about in the household about red flags, like what are some red flags that that you can say, like, okay, this is why I'm not friends with somebody because this, this is glaring, like, or how do you see red flags?
Jealousy.
Mm,
Someone taking too much interest on certain things that you're doing more than you are.
mm.
Or I feel like one is how they move and how like they like react, or it's like
It's like what? Like, what are you thinking? Like, I see your hand gesturing. You guys can't see us, but
it's like the things that they do. It's like
mm.
like
I think for me, like, I kind of, you're trying to find the words. I think for me, it's like, okay, one is the things that they do. Like, they're like how somebody shows up for you. Like, girl, I have an event, and every time I have an event, you 4 hours late. Like,
not even that if you don't show up or you're
No,
not
but they also got those friends that Joe's friends that want to get there on time just to see you fail.
that, okay, that's a good perspective. That's a good perspective.
or if
But I'm saying, like, those, but truthfully, like, are those, is that a red flag that you're calling out, or is someone being late to every event? You're like, hey, girl, I gotta talk to you. Like, I invite you and you late every time. Like, like, I'm counting on you to, be there. I show up to your event, on
so
time all the time. Or also looking at, you want to say something, but I'm also thinking, like, okay, if we do something together, we have a plan together, and you can never make it. You always fall through. Like, I feel like some of those are red flags in a friendship where it becomes a one-sided situation.
and if they like what I was trying to say earlier, what I was trying to get out.
Mhm.
But it's like they use you. It's like like you said, one-sided thing. So it's like you're giving your all, but they use you for certain thing, like to talk to you or complain or something, and then it's like you said, a one-sided friendship.
Yeah, those are red flags. And I also think, like, red flags for me too is like, you can't go in a space for me when it comes to, especially the friends I call sisters, and be like, I'm gonna talk crazy about them, and then I don't say nothing. I can't defend you. I don't have your back.
Yeah.
None of the case. If I hear you kikiing and you talking and it's getting spread about, and you're not there to defend me, or I'm not hearing a defense from you, like, those, to me, those are red flags. And I feel like those things lead to some of the things
So you don't have my back.
right, that we've seen in the news, like where the Shaquille, case, Robinson case, where I'm just like, you're on a trip with a group of friends and you're there for a good time, there's a disagreement or whatever the case may be, and you standing up for yourself. There's nobody in this space that's like, this is wrong, and it's like, unfortunately, in that moment, that was life-changing things, and I feel so sorry for her and her family. But it's like, there's times where you could kind of get in front of that and see that, there's some red flags that are there. And we try to teach you guys, our kids, like, if that person is talking crazy, or you realize that this person is willing to tell your business and is getting around town, and you're like, I only told one person, that's a red flag. Or you're in a group of people and you're the topic all the time, those are red flags. Somebody doesn't wish you well, and sometimes you can always see them, and then sometimes they're so hidden because people are rooting against you that they're willing to cover their own tracks. So I just, like, those things for me, I think are spaces that are hard to really discover. Red flags can be very glaring, and then other red flags you ponder on and you hope for the best, and hopefully that they turn out in a better place. Thinking about friendships and red flags and growth, I know I've had friend changes.
Yes.
My group has changed dramatically, over the course of the years. And I wonder, have you both, like, you're still young, but like, has that been a thing for you both? Like, where you really have witnessed your friendships change dramatically in a course of a year, a moment, a month, whatever?
Mine's as in not being as close or as like seeing each other as much as we were because I was living closer, but rather than that, not really.
Mm.
For me, as in being in high school, high school for you changes a lot. And for me, there's the course of 3 years from a junior,
Mhm.
it's changed a lot. like so much drama, or people start things, or people do unnecessary things, and it's like the red flags. You see it, and it's like, now I really don't want to mess with you because I see how you're moving.
Mhm.
So for me, it's a lot constantly.
Yeah.
But
I know for me, that I truthfully, like, my friendships changed. Like, I would definitely say through high school, and then again, as I became a parent, there were certain things, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm very particular about how people deal with their kids because I'm particular about how I deal with my kids. And you bringing your bad child over here, interrupting the peace of my household, and you don't got a grip on your kid. And I don't want that influence on my children, or I don't want to have to say something to you about how you manage your child, has changed a lot of my friendships. And it's not, oh, how I parent is better than yours. It's, I need to make sure my kids in my household are straight, and you're disrupting that with how you're showing up and what you're bringing into the space when you bring you and your child to my home. Or it could simply be like, okay, well, I'm a big component of traveling with my kids and, making sure my kids have tons of influence and experiences. And that's how, at least in my mind, that's how kids grow knowledge just outside of a classroom. And, I see a lot of, at one point, I would see a lot of my friends who they be out here hitting the planes and the islands and the clubs, drinking, acting up, and your kids are nowhere to be found. For me, that truthfully determined a lot of my friendship as well. And it's not about passing judgment. It's, I want to be around like-minded people. I want to be around people who value educating their kids, taking their kids, showing the kids their world, especially we are African American people. We need access. We need information for growth. And I think it's a huge thing. And the friends who I hang out with now, who I call my sisters and I love them, we operate on the same place. Kids excelling, families are doing well.
You're on the same page.
Right, and you gel because of that. So I will remove myself from a friendship because I don't want to pass judgment. I want to just not assume anything, and I don't want to also be annoyed but what you're doing, and not have that influence on me and not start an issue with you. So I'll move away. So I don't know if you guys have experienced that when you're changing. Like, what are some reasons you have, grown out of a relationship, or maybe not seeing someone as often?
For me, well, yeah, growing up, changing, you grow into different things, your own style, your own personality, or you getting to know yourself better, and you realize your old ways, or how people are acting. Like you said, like you as a parent, as a mother,
Mhm.
you grow into different experiences and things like that. So you want to be on the same page with somebody. When you're not on that type of level with someone, and you feel like you either have to let that person go, or it's just something
Mhm.
that you notice or has happened. You just know when to let it go, or it just needs to be done.
Right. You deal with them in a different way,
Yeah.
or at arm's length.
Yeah.
Definitely. What do you think then? It's the facial expression.
I just don't know how to put it. It's just like I'm simple. I'm a simple person. As women or people says, men are simple. So it's like I don't know. I stick around the same people I know. But if I see you moving funny from how you usually move, that's a red flag. So I'm gonna keep my distance from that. So
Mhm.
I really don't let it get that far. Once I see one flag, is
It's out the door for you.
pretty much.
And you're right. I think female friendships are way more complicated than male friendships. Sometimes
Mhm.
this is our experience.
It depends on the person.
Right. It's
Yeah,
our experience.
that's
We ain't talking about everybody else's situation. We talk from our experience.
Yeah.
I do see, like, you got one best friend, you deal with a couple of people, and that's that. You welcome hanging out with other people. Like, we go on our couples trip.
Yeah.
These are, you hang out with these guys, you thoroughly enjoy them, you have a
Yeah.
good time,
Yeah.
but you still have your core group of people. Just like they have their core group of people. So, and you're coming together and hanging out with these folks and having a good time off of the strength that these are the ladies I want to hang with, I want to deal with, and some of the things that you do for your partner. But, for women, from my experience as a woman, Definitely. I feel like our relationships are definitely more complicated. Our friendship
I
is
feel like-
definitely more
I feel
complicated.
like because depending on the friendship that you get too in deep or invested in it,
Yeah.
like you see a red flag and they think, oh, I'm just gonna let it go.
Mhm.
And it's like, but there's some people who are like, yeah, ma'am, you're moving funny,
Mhm.
I'm out.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like you build a certain bond or a type of friendship with someone,
Mhm.
females are like, I'm gonna still stick onto her until she really does me dirty, like bad. So I mean,
Yeah.
like I said,
That's
it
some
depends on the
people,
person.
because you don't get to
Yeah.
do me dirty bad, because then the old version of me want to be like, girl, she trying the wrong one. But for me, I'm all about a conversation. I'm willing to say something to you, and if I feel some type of way, I'm gonna address you. I think a lot of times, and that's the thing we teach you and your sister is address the situation. You being upset and being in your feelings about it, and the person doesn't know what you're feeling, it leads to those red flags because everything that person's doing is saying to you now is shady versus I never told you I felt that way. And I think women we either are willing to have those conversations or we're not. And I agree with you when you said, okay, until the person do me wrong, I'm gonna see it through, and it's like, why we gotta keep giving chance to the chance. But that's the hope inside of us. Like, I hope I care about this person. I really hope that they're really not doing me like that. And so then I can see the perspective where your dad's like, okay, I also deal with this one group of people. Like, there's only so much you're gonna get from me in these group of people versus you having all these friends. And I think about that too. Like, what's your ideal of the number of friends? Like, do you need to have more than one friend? Like,
Best friend to me, like we said earlier, Max is to me too. Associates, friends, you can have as many as you want. It's just how you interact with that person, how you involve yourself in.
So you're fine with like that number could be whatever the number is.
Yeah.
But you're saying at the most, my closest people to me is probably gonna be one or two people. Yeah. I think I'm more open to that. Like, I'm definitely more like, okay, I got my two best friends, but I'm definitely about having a group of people. Like, I'm cool. I'm cool being alone though. Like,
Yeah.
that's one thing. Like, I don't find an issue with, I don't have to deal with you, you gotta deal with me because I'm all about the expectations.
I'm my own best friend.
Right. And I said in my previous video, I'm a control freak, and that to me has dictated how I deal with people. My husband's shaking his head really hard because I said control freak, but I'm like, it's how I deal with people and in the terms of the expectations with them. And the fact that I don't, if I'm pouring into you, I want you to pour back into me as well. So I don't want to put that expectation on a ton of people. So I'm fine with being by myself and rather solo dolo and doing what I want to do for me. Me and a cup of Starbucks. Okay, so the channel's called Coffee Drinkers, and a good shopping spree does my mental health really good. So, but I do think I think having a solid person in your life, at least one person, makes the world of a difference.
I agree because like I said, me being high school and especially that I just transferred from different schools,
Yeah.
you see how people act and stuff, and you start to break away. Like when I'm now doing online
doing school, in a different school.
I broke away from a lot of friends, like from like mainly our group because all of our group, we all go in different paths, different places, so we all broke away. So I have solid 3 good friends that I know we're a group together, and they're just solid.
Well, are they a group for you though? Because like, do they like? So I know one of your friends is a middle school friend, and that you consider that person one of your best friends as well.
That's
and then the other, and then the other one is in high school one.
One of my best friends and my friend. That's the 3 of us are a group, and I have my childhood best friend, which is just the 2 of us, which I'm fine with.
Yeah. So I see.
Best friend and best friend, the same person.
There is a difference though. See,
because you like for me, I have
no, I get it. It's the era, the different times.
No,
it's how you
No,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
that. It's me growing up because I have my one best friend where I grew up with. I'm still friends with, and then I have one in high school
Mm.
where I've grown. We have a bond. It's where it stopped
Mhm.
together. So there, like she said earlier, it's different stages of your life where you have a bond with somebody.
Yeah.
Like my friend that I had since middle school, she's like my sister.
Yeah.
Me and my best friend from high school, we're still growing.
Mm.
But we have a bond where I can call her my best friend. So, it's different.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're different. You're a simple guy.
Yeah, you roll with the same guy is your best friend from.
And what's crazy is like, you know how you say, like y'all say, you got different best friends and like from high school and stuff. So my best friend growing up with and the guy I consider like a close best friend in school
Mhm.
are, well, not married yet,
Mhm.
but when he marries in, they'll be like cousins because things cousins.
Oh,
Their
okay.
parents, I'm like, oh, that's a small world.
So, well, that was well, at least that they get the benefit of being extra close then.
True.
But I know for me, like, it definitely has been growth. I think as I elevate myself or I continue to reflect and really think about who I want, what kind of friend I am, and who I want to be when I grow up. Being a Toys R Us kid, I think about how those relationship changes and what people want for themselves, because it's not just you that makes a decision if somebody is your friend or not. Like they gotta be on the same page. So that leads me to the last question before we wrap up: is how would you consider yourself, a friend? Like like how do you describe yourself as a friend?
Well, like I said earlier in the beginning,
Yeah.
loyalty, honesty, and stuff like that. So, me as a friend, I like to be like,
Not the hand gesture. They can't see.
like me personally, like to describe myself, like you're a loner. I like to be by myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Then nothing wrong with that. But me as a friend, I like to have someone. I have to like just to have someone to talk to, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like,
So I think for me, like I would describe, because you're struggling over there. I feel like I describe myself as a friend as I'm a listener. I'm also someone who's brutally honest. Like
very,
I'm brutally honest.
very,
And I don't know if that's always a good thing or a bad thing.
both.
I'm gonna be very honest. I'd be sparing no feelings. And I want somebody to spare minds, because I want you to tell me if I'm acting up. I want you to tell me if I'm making stupid decisions. That's what the purpose of being a friend is. Gloves off. If you're going
Especially a
to,
best friend.
right, if you're going to handle me with kid gloves, then I can keep that self delusion to myself. So I'm honest, I'm open, I'm listening, I'm supportive. If you call me, you need me. My friends will tell you, ride or die, baby, ride or die. Out, old day show, sneakers and a hoodie. Older day show. It's let's go sit out, talk about this.
Wear jeans and flats.
Right. Right. Work clothes and flats, and let's go sit down and have a drink and talk about this, therapist style. So
wine cup and wine.
Definitely wine. But I find myself to be, just as I continue to grow for myself, that I'm an active listener. I'm sharing with you my thoughts. I'm being open with you. I'm honest. And I'm making it a two-way street. And I want they use that reference, my door is always open. It is. Like, you need me, just come find me. Or if you need me to pick you up, I'm gonna come pick you up. Like, let's figure this out. So that's what I describe myself as, a friend. Tyson, how would you say so?
Take it how you leave. I'm a goofball. I consider myself the life of a party. No, so
A child.
I consider myself a person that, like you said, I keep it with my friends. I can be a life of a party if I wanted to. I can be a social person. I consider myself a good friend.
Yeah. I think everybody tries to consider themselves a good friend. What would our friends say is the other question. But well, thank y'all for chatting with me. This was fun. Y'all couldn't see us, and maybe next time we put our video on, but we were having a kiki with Nini, where her hand gestures trying to explain stuff. And so thank you all for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. What are your friendships like? How are you as a friend? What are the red flags you see and try to avoid in your friendships? And what does that growth look like? And do you have more than one best friend? Thank you all.